guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I did this last year and I had a lot of fun with it, and it was about this time last year that I did it, so I figured I would do it again. So there's a list of questions that you go through from the beginning of your reading year, so from January up until now, June, and you just answer the questions with books. I originally saw this on a Clockwork Readers channel. I don't know who invented the tag originally, but whoever it is, I will definitely link them down below, because obviously credit where credit is due. I did not invent this tag. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first question is the best book you've read so far this year, and hands down for me that has to be Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I literally finished this book 2 days ago and have not stopped thinking about it. I even went on a Twitter thread about it. I loved this book so much, and I will need everyone in the whole world to read it. In case you haven't heard, it follows the story of a boy named Alex, who is the son of the President of the United States, and then Henry, who is part of the royal family over across the pond in England. Don't ever let me do that again. But the two of them have a hate relationship ever since they met at the Rio Olympics and Henry insulted Alex. So after that, Alex is not Henry's biggest fan, but they get into not an accidental fight at the royal wedding, and all of a sudden Henry and Alex find themselves spending a lot of time together in order to save face in the media, which, as you can imagine, leads to some scandalous things. So yes, I absolutely love this book. I would highly recommend to anybody in the entire world that loves YA contemporary, romance, happiness, smiling, crying, anything. This book is definitely for you. The next question is the best sequel you've read so far this year, and for me that has to be The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one by Amanda Lovelace. This completes her trilogy from The Princess Saves Herself in this one, The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one, and now The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one. I loved this book so much. I've talked about it before in one of my recent reads videos. Actually, it's my only recent reads video up on my channel at this moment. But yes, I loved this book, and I think it was the perfect wrap up to a perfect trilogy. So the next question is a new release that you haven't read but really want to. I have two books for this answer. My first one is If I'm Being Honest by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. This is a retelling of Shakespeare's The Shrew, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But it follows the story of Carmen here, who is a bitch, until her crush catches her in her acts of cruelty, and all of a sudden she realizes she better do some shaping up quick. So first off, I just love this cover. Let's talk about the cover. I think it's gorgeous and adorable, and it just makes me want to read the book. Also, I love the concept, and I'm excited to dive into it. The next book I have for this category is How to Make Friends with the Dark by Kathleen Glasgow. Kathleen wrote one of my favorite reads of 2018, Girl in Pieces, and she came out with a brand new book this year, obviously, and I have not gotten to read it yet, but I am super excited to, because I love her style of writing. I love her characters from Girl in Pieces. I think about them all the time. I just gifted it to Ali Novak for her birthday so that she could think about it all the time too. So I am excited to have my hands on and to get to read her next novel. The next question is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And for me, that is To Drink Coffee with a Ghost by Amanda Lovelace. Amanda pumps out poetry collections like it is nobody's business. So her new poetry collection is coming in September. I have, of course, pre-ordered it, and I'm super excited to get my hands on it and to just devour another one of her beautiful masterpieces. So the next question is your biggest disappointment, and I have two books for this one. I don't have either one of them with me because I unhauled them already. But the first one is The Earth, My Butt, and Other Big Round Things, I believe is the complete title. And every time I think about this book, it makes me so angry. The representation in this book was awful. The main character was considered to be overweight, and the way that she was represented was just, I don't even have words. Like, it broke my heart. How much she hated herself, how much she wanted to change herself, how she couldn't accept herself until she was pretty, and then her whole rebellion thing. And I don't know what happened in that book, but I was not a fan. So that was my first biggest disappointment of the year. And then my second one was Love and Other Carnivorous Plants. I had such high hopes going into this book. I heard it had LGBTQ plus representation. It dealt with eating disorders, which I'm very big on mental health in books. So going into this book, I had, as I said, high expectations. I was expecting to love it. And I think I ended up giving it a 2.5. I was just disappointed. The characters were not developed like I hoped. I didn't like the main character. I didn't like her best friend. I didn't like the plot twist in the middle. It made no sense for the storyline. The whole thing was just not my cup of tea, and I was very upset because I really hoped to love it. The next question is your biggest surprise, and again, I have 2 books for this category. Sorry that I keep breaking the rules, but my first one is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is not a good surprise. I read this book in anticipation, the movie's been out for a while now, but to see the movie, I wanted to read the book first, so I just finished the book a couple weeks ago, and I didn't love it. I thought it started off really slow, and I wasn't vibing with any of the characters. I wasn't into the relationship at first. I kind of got into it at the end a little bit more. I liked it enough to order the sequel, which I have at my apartment, but overall it just, I don't know, maybe it's the hype that surrounded the book and the movie. I just expected more, and I felt kind of let down. Then the other book I have for this category is not a good surprise either, and that is What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. I ended up DNFing this book, and I never DNF books. I always see them through till the end. But this book, I would pick up and I would force myself to read a few pages and put it down for like months at a time. I just could not get into the writing style. And I really thought I would love it because the concept sounded so cute. And I love Becky Albertalli's Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. That was one of my favorite reads of 2018. And I haven't really read Adam Silvera, but I have heard great things about him, but this book just didn't do it for me. And I was definitely disappointed. So the next category is your favorite new author or an author that's new to you. And for me, that would be, again, Casey McQuiston. I can't and I won't stop talking about how amazing this book was, and I'm excited for what she comes out with next. I will definitely be pre-ordering and definitely hope she continues on with this universe because I loved all of these characters so much. The next category is your newest fictional crush, and for me that is Zach from Zach and Mia. Overall, I wasn't a huge fan of the story itself, which I will talk about one day when I film another recent reads, but I did love Zach. I thought he had a big heart, and he was always so positive and uplifting and just wanted the best for everyone around him, and he had such a wholesome family, and I loved Zach so much. I would love to be a part of his universe. Not so much a fan of Mia, but we'll get into that later. This is also a TV show. I can't find it. I've watched it before, but I can't find it anywhere to save my life. So if you can find it, do let me know so I can rewatch now that I've read the series. I read there was supposed to be a second season, but that was in 2017, so I don't know what's going on with the TV show linked to this book. I remember not liking the TV show too much either. The next category is your newest favorite character, and for me, that would be Henry from Red, White, and Royal Blue. I'm sure you're sick of me talking about this book. I won't stop talking about it. I love both Alex and Henry, but Henry just has a special place in my heart. I loved him so much, and I would love a book in his point of view. Hint, hint, wink, wink, please. But yes, Henry stole my heart. Sorry, I'm even covering up Alex. Like, get out of here, Alex. I'm talking about Henry. But if I haven't convinced you to read it yet, I literally couldn't say anything more than please read this and fangirl with me. The next category is a book that made you cry. I have 2 books in this category once again. The first book I have is 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott with Mickey Daughtry and Tobias Iconis. I read this book in preparation for the movie, and I sobbed. I sat on my parents' living room couch and sobbed, and my dad was like, "What the heck is wrong with you?" It was so heartbreaking, but yet so good. I would highly recommend this book to anyone that just kind of wants to have their soul ripped out of their body. And the other book that made me cry, of course, is The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one by Amanda Lovelace. I cry in every single Amanda Lovelace book, and this one was no exception. It tore my heart apart, and I loved every moment of it. The next category is your favorite book to movie adaptation this year, and for me that would be, again, 5 Feet Apart. I loved the book. I sobbed during the book and movie. I own the movie. Thank you, Rachel Lippincott, for bringing this into my life. Makes me so happy, so incredibly sad. And I know I just talked about this book, but I would highly recommend. The next category is the most beautiful book you bought or received this year. For that, I might have 3 answers. I apologize now. The first one I have is If It Makes You Happy by Claire Kahn. I think this cover is absolutely adorable. Cover goals all the way. It makes me happy to look at this cover because she's so happy. The font is so cute. The colors are adorable. I just love everything about this book. The second one I have is Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. This is the Puffins Classic Edition, and I am in love with this cover. I think it is the most adorable thing I've seen in a long time, and I will be collecting the rest of the classics in this edition, but this is the first one that I purchased. I really have nothing else to say. The back is even adorable. The spine is adorable. Like, they did an amazing job on this cover. So I was wrong, I only had 2 for that category. I apparently can't read my own notes. But the last category is, what are some books you need to read before the end of the year? Other than the ones that I've already talked about wanting and needing to read, I do have 3 for this category. So the first one I have is Winter Girls by Laurie Halls Anderson. This is the UK cover because I thought it was absolutely adorable. But this follows the story of girls that struggle with anorexia, and I would like to dive into this book. I've heard a lot about it, and before I form my own opinion, I would definitely like the chance to read it. It's pretty short, and I'm hoping I can get that done before the end of the year. The next book I have is Masquerade by Cyrus Parker. This is his next poetry collection, which I've had for a couple months now, just haven't gotten a chance to read it, but this is definitely high on my TBR. I would love the chance to finally get to read this, as I love Cyrus Parker just like I love Amanda Lovelace. They're partners, in case you didn't know, but I'm very excited to dive into his latest. And the last book I'd like to read, I can't find the physical copy of the book, but don't worry, it's written on my shirt, and that is Dear Evan Hansen. So I saw the Broadway show back in April, and I would like to sit down and actually read the physical copy of the book. The Broadway show came before the book, so I felt like it was only right that I did them in that order. But yeah, now that I've seen the show, I would love to read the book and see how they're similar yet different, because usually in books you get more detail that they can't fit into a movie or a play or anything else. So I am definitely excited. And that is it for my mid-year book tag, or mid-year book freakout tag. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. As we've noticed, I'm not always very good with the whole uploading on a schedule thing, but I definitely try. And yeah, I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye. I love both Zach and Henry. I just said Zach.